video contains strong language which may be offensive to some viewers and or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Guess what, everyone? As you can pretty much tell, we are back. It's been a long winter, and it's still winter, but we are back. And Chris is over there. I'm over here, and we're basically hoping that a bunch of you, at least 4 of you, are meeting us here in the man cave. Now, after I say that, Chris, I want to do that real quick. Do this real quick. Do that real quick.
What's that?
It feels good to be back.
We're in our respective chair areas. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm going to start right off. Since it has been a while, we've been back. I have got to ask you, young man, you've got this setup behind you, this bar that you have really established into a fine, expensive-ass bar. That's all I'm going to say. If you could elaborate on what I'm getting at here, I would love to hear about what's going on.
I'm not sure you can tell very well. Maybe I need to get like a fucking spotlight on there, but I went down a fucking bad one, and I've been buying fucking a whole lot of fucking expensive, kind of rare bottles. It's kind of like, for lack of a better example, it's kind of like Pokemon to me. It's kind of, and I didn't play Pokemon, but it's like, gotta fucking catch them all. It's like one of those things. I get real bad when I get into new hobbies or something like that. I go I go on a deep dive. I want to know like what's the best from all the people that are telling me about it, and I want to know why it's the best. I want to know like what flavor notes, whatever I can't even do that shit when I'm tasting it. Like I don't know like none of the taste notes that they're telling me about, but I want to find out. Don't drink this shit. What?
I'll help you out here.
Any redeeming qualities? Is this going to get me fucked up or anything?
Folks, for you watching out there, you may have stumbled across other, podcasters out there. I mean, like the Osbournes, Steve-O. They've all had Liquid Death sponsoring their, podcasts. And, Chris and I, meet us in the man cave. We may have our first sponsor, Liquid Death. And it is October and death and, So, yes, it's Liquid Death. It's death in a can. Murder your thirst.
No alcoholic content, right? This is totally just, we're doing this just to...
We're doing this to kiss ass for our new sponsor, right?
It's so good, guys. Look at that can. It's fucking beautiful.
Yes. Oh, yeah, it's going to be our new thing here.
Nothing to talk about there.
Oh, God. God damn.
Meet us in the man caves. High quality H2O. Pure wetness.
Drink responsibly. Only available at Bourbon.
Did we just lose a sponsor? I want the experience. I want to experience shit before I die. So that's really where I'm at with it. But yeah, I spent a lot of fucking money over there. And maybe eventually we can do, I still got, there's a secondary channel I'm working on. It's Bourbon Burnouts. I kind of took the idea that we were working on with the whole bourbon aspect / scotch and the whole car thing that we were going to work on. And kind of created like a little segue channel there. Just maybe we can put some content over there, It's a work in progress. I think as it's going right now, it might just be me with like, having people come on and until somebody gets on there and they're like, wow, that was really fun. Like, I'd like to do that more often. And maybe I'll be like, okay, let's fucking, let's make it more of a regular thing. I think I'd like to do something like that. It's still getting started. I don't fucking, life kicks our ass and it takes a while to get started. You know how it is. But I'm working on it. It's out there. There's a channel for it.
Well, it's quite obvious. The last time I was at your place, I couldn't help but now maybe Chris later he'd take a photo of it, and I could just kind of like add it into what he was saying there, just a couple photos or whatnot. But
Yeah.
it's quite impressive what he's got going on there so far.
I've ran out of room, so much so that I had to start stocking below the bar, like backups. If I find one that I like a lot, I buy backups now. It's rough.
Oh yeah, I do that with my favorites, like Jameson Orange. I've got like one on the shelf and one down there. I actually have a bottle of. Well, I'm actually about to pour me something here, but hell.
I was gonna do the same. We can get a little pour out of it. That'd be. What's that?
Like this is an actual bottle of Cabo, and I rinsed it out real good because I wanted to have like this like nice crystal look when I keep it back in there, and it's just Jameson Orange.
Really?
Yeah.
Good stuff.
The thing of it is, you can't. Well, I can't see it through how we're seeing it now, the being this pre-recorded and all, but it's bokeh out anyways. And I came across something that was pretty interesting last weekend. I stopped at Airwine. This right here, I had to get it. The thing of it is, they had this little small Irish section. I thought it was Irish, and it's out of Florida. Here's the thing. Let me get some ice room or perspective glass.
Von Payne, I pass that all the fucking time, dude. Like, I go down to Kentucky. It's really around Newport, Covington spot, the area right around there. But I go down there pretty much every Saturday morning. And I just go from liquor store to liquor store. I just go on little bourbon hunts. It might sound lame to some people, but I think it's fun. Like, not even to necessarily drink them, but to find out like the ones that are getting the best reviews and people are fucking going nuts over.
Yeah, Kentucky. Thank God. If anybody's old enough to remember, you could just still watch the good old movie Smokey and the Bandit. Back in those days, they were. If you bootlegged, if you bootlegged like even beer across state lines, you can get in trouble. Chris could. They don't mess with that anymore, but Chris could get in trouble by buying liquor in Kentucky. Check this out.
I like fucking living on the edge. I'm into that shit. Get the fuck out of here. Comes out his mouth like a gargoyle.
Yeah.
Get out of here. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. Von Payne Black. And I'll tell you what, I tried it last weekend.
That's pretty fucking cool.
I like it a lot. It's pretty good. In fact, even the cashier there, she's like, have you tried that yet? I'm like, no, but it's in my section.
What you're going to have to do now is you're going to have to add in a little bit of what the fuck you drinking.
What the fuck you drinking?
Oh yeah, I should like and cut. Hey Chris, what the fuck you drinking?
See, we're out of practice here. So of course we got the beer. I can't give up my beer, but that's Truth Bomb is what that is, and it's about halfway gone. What I wanted to do here, guys, I got one that I've been waiting to open. Pretty fucking rare. but Colonel E.H. Taylor, and it's the barrel proof, uncut and unfiltered. And I'm not sure if anybody's seen these bottles, but these are fucking nuts, dude.
Hell, that's just that
The label on it. Yeah, it's got the fucking paper towel tube. Look at that fucking bottle. Look at that. I'm not sure if you can pick up the detail on the label, but that shit is. It's all embossed and everything.
Yeah.
Shit is fancy.
It looks so custom, you know? Like it wasn't. The label just doesn't look like it was run through a press or anything. Let me turn my volume up there. But yeah, here I am just sitting 30 minutes plus away, and I'm thinking, damn, I'm curious to see what that tastes like right now. Oh, and
Find out.
I've mentioned it here recently with some others, and I've said, Chris has got me hooked on these damn IPAs. And the one that I remember before he moved into his new house, Rheingeist, his favorite, and it was constantly on the shelf. And I think they're finally done with it for this season. So I still got some saved up. Some of the Sabertooth.
Now this is a heavy boy, so I'm gonna.
And I apologize for sniffing out there, people. I'm still at the ends of this cold/flu. It's driving me nuts.
You know what's wild is the secondary market on some of these bottles, man. Like, I mean, this bottle, it's about, I think it's 120 MSRP, but it's going into like 320 to 400 range on a bottle. God forbid if I had like, a Pappy Van Winkle or some shit. You get like a 23 Pappy Van Winkle. It's a $300 bottle, but they fucking go into like $3,000.
And I try to tell myself like once a month, maybe 2 bottles, average about $50 each, or 50 on one and about maybe 30 on the other.
Oh God. Yeah, buddy, that's a fresh pop.
That's the most expensive way to burn out your nose hairs. So once again, Chris, what is the name of this channel that you're working on here with the bourbons and the scotch?
Bourbon burnouts. I think maybe we could do a couple like, tastings and shit like that.
Yeah, I would love to come on there every once in a while and just make it. I mean, just to see how it goes. And I won't get into it, but I'll wait and save it for later what he's got upstairs. Just because I think that's obviously then again with that bar that he has behind him, it's dear Lord.
That is good shit, man. That's like got a little bit of caramel, kind of like a little bit of a marshmallow taste to it.
Huh. I can't even really describe what this tastes like. It's different. It's I like it. It's definitely a whiskey. There's no doubt about it. But I can't really describe what it's even when it comes close to flavor wise. It's almost like there's a blackberry in it or something.
See, that's where I'm struggling right now. I'm better at like nosing it and telling because my nose works pretty well, but on the palate, I don't have I'm not developed enough to know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like I can tell you it's good, but I don't fucking know all the notes and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately, right now with myself, with being stuffed up, I can't smell things nearly as well. And it's just like, just like right now, I know it tastes good, so that's all that matters for me at this point. But I do miss the senses of just like, because right now I can't smell really anything except the alcohol.
Now, how long have you been dealing with that?
This it started off with let's see, I remember I started feeling like crap on a Wednesday, like 2 weeks ago. And it was weird because I feel like I started catching a cold. Then it went to like a flu transition. And I was like, oh my God, it's driving me. Now I'm at the point where I feel perfectly fine. Thank God. I'm not aching. I can move around normally. But now I just feel like it's almost like I'm dealing with sinuses right now. And I also got to thinking, I usually get a sinus infection like every 4 years. But I don't think this is a sinus infection because usually I'm really miserable for almost 4 or 5 months. So now I just got the sniffles. So
Fuck, man. You
it's
sound
just
like
annoying.
me.
It's
Sound like me. I got fucking horrible sinuses. It fucks me up every time, every year. Just waiting on it.
Yeah, we're having an actual winter this year. It's not been. You'd think it would dry it up, but nah. So, but then again, I've heard so many people it's been sick so damn much here lately. You know, you're almost afraid to go around anybody because, you know, the flu, damn Lord, get around somebody with the flu sweating, or if they touch their forehead and then they touch you, it's like, ah, crap. Now you probably got it. It is what it is.
That's
I mean,
facts.
hell, we live in an era where people freak out more than they used to when you get sick.
Thank God we're not in COVID anymore. What?
I bet your bladder is about to explode. Well, Chris and Scott, they'd like to help you out. How's that, you say? By simply subscribe, liking, and sharing to Meet Us in the Man Cave, where we can finally achieve those YouTube ads, and you can finally go take a piss.
I can't help but bring up the news I heard today, and I'm pretty sure you're aware of Gene Hackman.
Yes. I did hear that.
Wow. Yeah,
Now,
suspecting a little bit of foul play.
My little bit of knowledge on that, I felt like it was fucking weird. I mean, him and his wife?
Yeah.
At the same time?
And his dog in separate rooms.
And his dog?
Yes, German Shepherd. In separate rooms. And first I thought it was like a carbon dioxide ordeal.
Sure.
And then as the days progressed, it's like, wait a minute, they're in separate rooms. His wife, they had found her head near like a heater, whatever, and some pills, a bunch of pills. And what's really eerie is they've stated that they've been dead for at least a couple weeks.
Couple weeks? How did they go that long without being found?
Neighbors finally did a well check. Like, this isn't right. We haven't seen anybody, so, well check and all.
All right. Now, what was his age? He was pretty
95.
up there, right? 95.
Yeah.
Holy.
I'm going to mute myself real quick. Yeah, 95. His wife, 67, I think 67. And, of course, the German Shepherd, like I said, in all separate rooms. So,
dude, I'm just trying to stretch it out to 45. 95, man, that's a good life.
Yeah, Gene Hackman, it seemed like anything he was in, it was a great movie. I mean, I know he retired back in the early 2000s, but anything that he was in, it was great. He was in, I still can't. I mean, I know he's been in some great, like the French Connection was his, like he won an Oscar or whatnot with it. But
I thought he was good in the firm,
I can't help but think I can't think of Hoosiers.
No,
I do. I think of Hoosiers with Gene Hackman.
Yeah, that's what I was going with.
And Superman and The Replacements, and I mean the list goes on and on. And he always plays like a great bad guy, though. Well, he did, I should say.
Right. I feel like he got stereo, like typecasted, like stereotypical,
Yeah.
He had that face, like the villain face or something like that, but he probably was a nice dude.
Yeah, he got pretty much tired of Hollywood at one point. That's why he retired. He said, I'm tired of the bullshit that goes on around there. And this was, About 20 years ago. So, but yeah, it's pretty sad to hear about that. I heard somebody else mention an actress. I'm not familiar with her. She was a young actress that also died
Michelle?
here recently. So, you know what,
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah.
I don't mean to jump subjects, but I'm trying to remember certain things that I would ask you that I haven't had a chance to ask in a while. And this is a music related ordeal. And this is definitely up your era. I did not watch, did not care or anything about the Super Bowl. Just not my thing. If the Bengals are in it, then I'll pay attention. If they're not, I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand one of your favorites was performing during the halftime. Is that correct?
That was interesting. Old Kendrick. Yeah. He got a lot of flack for that, I think, man. But I think he was doing something that people haven't like interpreted yet. Like, I don't want to go down a whole bunch of like rabbit holes, but I mean, there was at the very beginning of it, it looked like there was a PlayStation controller. If you know the PlayStation controller, the triangle, the circle, the square, the X, it's all the action buttons on there. And those were kind of flashing and stuff like that. I've heard a couple theories on that, like he's playing the game and this, that, and the other. I don't know. But I mean, it was cool for what he was trying to do. Yeah, it wasn't the most like flashy or the biggest spectacle that a Super Bowl show should be, but I thought he did good. I thought he did what he needed to do. It fit. It fit with what he was trying to do. All he was trying to do was get under Drake's skin, if you ask me. That's really it.
I heard something in the regards to that. One of my regular programs I listen to, there's this young woman that comes in like Wednesdays and what I listen to. And she talks about trending stuff, and she brought that up. And I'm like, oh, I bet Chris, if anything, I hope Chris watched it. Second, I'm sure he could explain more in detail. So this was a good opportunity for me to ask, since you obviously, in fact, I know there was a podcast that we did where you were talking about Lamar and DMX and all that stuff. You know what? Let's have Chris fill in the information here on that. So
he's had his little. I feel like he's had a good run. This whole Drake thing has made him really popular this year. He's had his hits and stuff like that. But honestly, man, I'm just, when you have too much of something and you just get desensitized, I guess, to it. You know what I mean? So I'm just kind of like, okay, man, there's only so many times I can listen to you drag Drake across the floor. Like, I need something new. So I haven't listened to it as much. I'm more into the I'm back to the Zach Bryan, the country. I'm back to plug while we can. Sam Barber, Restless Mind. He released it last year in November, I believe. But man, what a good album. So good. If anybody out there is looking for new music, give that a listen.
Yeah, my batteries died. I was actually listening to Black Keys single. You know how they do it. They'll release a single for the album. I've always liked the Black Keys, so I was listening to that and all that. That's like the newest thing that I was listening to. I was actually just Talking Heads this past week a lot, and Black Keys. And like always, Chris, I never get tired of listening to The Cure and that live stuff in the studio. Oh my God. I'm thinking I'd love to have that on an album. That where I found the videos, their YouTube channel. Man, it sounds so good. It's just a live acoustic in the studio with The Cure. I'm like, this is good stuff. I've been listening to that.
I love that album. I mean, I loved The Cure before, but I love that latest album. And I think I was reading, Robert was talking about it's a kind of a trio. It's 3 albums. He's got the one that is obviously, he said it was darker than the rest, which is obviously the one we just got. But the second one he's working on right now, and that's going to be a little bit lighter, a little more dance, like,
kind of pop.
Little,
Yeah, the
pop.
Cure is. They're so good at mixing stuff. Yeah.
So I'm anticipating that second one right now. I'm still listening to the first. The first was just so good.
That's what's so great about the Cure. You never get tired of them. You can listen to stuff from back in the day. It's like you can listen to the past and the present, the past and the present, and it never gets old. It just never does. I mean, Robert Smith just knocks it out of the park all the time, and the rest of the guys.
I've been watching some of those live tour videos.
Yeah.
Like some of the older guys, like I'll watch, like, I mean, right off the top of my head, like Steven Tyler and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, they're out there having fun, but they look a little tired. Like,
yeah,
Robert just looks like the same dude. He just looks like this is his like ecosystem. This is his atmosphere. He owns that stage. He just looks like he's at home when he's right there, and I love that.
I love how he's so grateful for the fans too. He always, and the band. I should be fair. Obviously, there's been different narrations of the band. The bassist has always been the same, but they just, we've had conversations on Here I Am about with live performances, and I've already said if they come around, I'll do what I can. But oh my God, then you have to talk about the price tag, and I'm thinking, okay, Robert, I know how you are about. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see. But if there's an opportunity, I'll actually say, and I've even told Zach's mom, she'd like, now I'd like to see that happen. She'd love to see the Cure as well. I mean, we could probably talk for hours about the Cure. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely. I'll keep going. And as far as ticket prices, they can't be any worse than fucking Zach Bryan. Oh my God. I tried to buy one about two weeks ago. I shit you not, man. They're going into like the $3,000 range.
Wow. You don't want to know how much I'll say it. I mean, it's been long enough, but all the Van Halen concerts, the average price was around $150. Now, it's granted, I didn't get backstage passes. I didn't get front row. I've had some great seats, but that was the average price. And I know today that's like dirt cheap compared to what most people pay, I
don't know who to blame anymore. I don't know if I'm blaming Ticketmaster. I don't know if I'm blaming, God bless all the Swifties out there, but I don't know if I'm blaming Taylor Swift. I don't know who I'm blaming anymore. But my God, man, they are unfathomably, if I can say that word, unfathomably fucking expensive. It's unreal, man.
It's
it's not possible.
Yeah.
I'd rather feed my family than,
Yeah, I'm sure.
I guess if that makes me a bad fan, then I am. I don't know.
It makes you realistic. I mean, because you're already, I'm not going to start. I know how my brain works. I'm like, no, I'm not going to go down the whole egg situation there. It's like, okay, eggs, concert tickets. But fuel prices are going down.
Hey, we're out back. We're out on a 571 dealing eggs right now.
Really?
Real cloak and dagger. We're like this.
I was going to say I was going to talk to you about this privately, but my job is just driving me nuts. Are you hiring?
Yes, we are.
Oh, dear.
I would say we're always hiring.
I know what I want to bring up. You hinted it already with Lamar. You talked about the PlayStation. Chris, I was, to hell with it. Have you, I know you're a big gamer. Anything new in the gaming section? Anything new that you're playing that you think that listeners would enjoy or you would advise?
Actually, tonight, at midnight, this is February 27th, 2025 in the year of our Lord. Is that how they say it? I don't even know. Anyways, Monster
Our Lord
Hunter.
and Savior.
Monster Hunter. Fuck, I'm drawing a blank right now. What's wrong with me? Wilds. Monster Hunter Wilds drops tonight. And you may not hear from me as often, Scott. I'm just gonna warn you, because I go into hiding when a good game comes out.
I get it. I understand. I wish I was a little bit more like you. Let's put it this way. When I started getting sick, I dropped everything that I enjoyed doing. In a sense. In other words, personally. In other words, you know as well. You know well enough. I've been trying to dabble in playing guitar. I haven't touched a guitar in 3 weeks, and I feel ashamed of myself. But when I started feeling bad, I'm like, I don't feel like doing anything. I just want to whine. You know.
Yeah.
And those guitars are staring at me. They're like, why are you just walking by having me collect dust, motherfucker? So, so I wish I was more like you when it comes to the game. I was more focused, and I need to get back on the horse again, because I feel like shame on me because I miss it.
It'll be okay though. I mean, they understand. I got a Taylor over there, and I got an Alvarez that I haven't touched in probably 6 months. Every bit of. It's if the creative juices aren't flowing, you're doing yourself a disservice by even trying.
Speaking of creative juices, since we haven't been doing anything here in a while, it's been driving me nuts. I mean, it's I just talked about, like, not feeling as good, not touching my guitar. It's like, man, I really miss hanging out with Chris. I really miss doing our podcast and all that. I'm like, I'll just go over to my original YouTube channel, and I'm like, okay, I'll just kill some time over there. And
I've been watching.
And it's just great. I'm so thankful that I reconnected with one of my old friends, Todd. He's a great guy. He's actually looking forward to meeting you. But it's even he says, well, you should just have me come over and meet us in the man cave. I'm like, well, it's going to be up to Chris. I know he's busy right now, Todd. He's really busy right now. He's got some stuff going on. And I said, we could just goof around here on the, the bar, because it's, I'm like, you know what? It just feels more natural right here. I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to rub it in, because everybody's asking, well, why you guys? Oh, look, I already talked to Chris personally about this sort of thing, and maybe later on I'll tell you guys more in details. But right now, we don't want to get into that. It's not that I'm ashamed. I'm just, I just want to focus on what we're doing right here, and then someday I'll explain more in details to everyone. But right now, I'm thankful. Thank you, Chris, for at least meeting me back here in the man cave. I'm very, very, very thankful, because when you contacted me the other day, I was like, man, I was having kind of a bad day at work, and I'm like, you just turned it around. Good. We get to do Meet Us in the Man Cave again. It's been a while. So it feels good to be back.
I of course missed it as well. Life catches up with us fast.
Yeah.
Just it is what it is.
Yeah.
We don't need to go any further. Everybody, who needs to know needs to know. And
anybody else that knows, hey guys, everyone out there, I truly apologize. I miss hanging out here, and hopefully, we can get things going back together again, in its natural habitat and its natural, state. But I know, like Chris just mentioned, with the game that's about ready to come out tonight, it may be a couple more weeks before I can talk him into joining me.
It's gonna be rough, guys. I'm just saying, like,
all right,
man, I am such a Monster Hunter fiend. It's gonna be rough, but I'm gonna work on it.
But you got priorities. You already. I remember.
Yeah. I'll just tell my wife, like, hey, fuck off. It's fine.
You know what? That's a good way to bring it up kindly. I remember one of the first things that you told me when it was in the subject matter about, and it's up to you. You could say, no, don't share this. Then I'll just, okay, cut this part out now. But you said one of the things that you told your wife, one of the things about who you are, one of the things that I'm paraphrasing it, but in other words, when it comes to your gaming and stuff like that, and you can explain it better now if you wouldn't mind.
That was one of our first conversations when we started dating. It was like, hey man, like you're cool. We're hanging out. I'm having a good time. Like I'm starting to get to like you. I got some ground rules. I like cars. I like my music. I like my movies. I wasn't so deep into the Halloween, so I didn't break her into that. But I like my video games. I like certain things that make me who I am.
Yeah.
And I want you to be who you are. And I don't want you to ever lose your identity, and I don't want to lose mine. If we can come together and make it work, then it's going to be great. But don't mess with my shit. Like pretty much just I like my little space where I need to be who I am, and then I want you to be who you are, and it kind of works.
Yeah,
I think it works really well. I mean, she's like my best friend, so yeah, don't know what I'd do without her.
Meaning and knowing.
Go all deep on you there.
It's about ready to. I'm butchering because I'm looking at my computer screen, and Chris and I use Riverside here, and it says titled "We're Back," and it says Poppa and Dolly.
That was not planned.
No, it was not. But being around Chris and Natalie enough, you could tell they're comfortable in their own skin. They're comfortable being a couple. They're comfortable doing their own thing, and you can tell if something's fake. There ain't no fake. No. They're very legit. They're very they're lucky as hell. They're very lucky, and
we try.
I'm happy for them.
We keep it in the closet. You should see it. You should see it when the door closes.
No, I like to. I don't think I want to.
Don't ruin the fantasy.
Yeah. I like to know that there is a happy. Okay, I like to know that there's two happy couples out there: Natalie and Chris, and Todd, and as he likes to refer it as Mrs. Todd. That's their privacy there. So, hey, they've been married for 20 some years. So good for them.
Yeah, I've been watching that son of a bitch. When am I going to meet him? When y'all coming over here?
Said, Todd is looking forward to meeting you. But tonight, is you know what? We're all going public here, even though it's pre-recorded. It's just Chris and I and the rest of you guys out there. Mm-hmm. Todd will join us here eventually. And Jake, we got to get Jake back into his interviewing and all that here soon. So
Jake sent me a text today, actually. I appreciate your friendship, Jake. You've always been a stand-up dude. You've always been a good person. Thank you.
Yes, Jake. He's a great guy. Even Todd because he's like, that Jake's a pretty cool guy. I'm like, yeah, he is. He's a very nice guy. He puts everybody before him, and I can learn a lot from Jake. That's for sure. Chris, you already mentioned the Halloween stuff. Naturally, of course, we got to bring that into this point right now. Now, I'm going to bring the better part to it here at the tail end because you're going to put the book into this Halloween, what I'm bringing up.
Yes.
I'm going to start with the bad stuff. I ain't finding anything with Halloween right now. It's like there's no news. There's nothing. It's almost like, yeah, but that's kind of common in a sense. I tell myself that it's, you're not always going to hear certain things, but sometimes I wonder, are they fading away from it? I don't know. But you know what? The most important thing when it comes to all Halloween fans out there are the guys like yourself who your latest obsession, of course, what's behind you, well, granted everything's behind you, is that we already talked about earlier with the bourbons. But the other original was the Michael Myers masks.
It makes me sound so bad. My boy was killed off, so I resorted to fucking drinking myself to death.
There you go.
Oh man,
I didn't mean to. That was a terrible painting. Yeah, I used to draw a lot, and I just realized, okay, I just scribbled a bad picture. So let's just throw that shit away.
No, let it live. Let it live. Let it breathe.
Okay. Do you? Oh, God. It's funny. I've had like two thoughts about this, and they're both completely unrelated. Okay, the book end of it that brings the good news to it.
Yeah.
Do you have anything new that was added to your collection lately?
I absolutely do.
There we go.
Let me go grab that.
All righty.
Meet us in the man caves. Underwear that's fun to wear. Super duper absorbent materials that absorbs 25 times its weight, neutralizes that shitty and pissy odors with our lavender musk scent. Shitty melt protection to pissy melt protection. Maximum overloads. Meet us in the man caves fresh protection underwear that's so damn fun to wear. Now come on, what are you wearing?
Only available at Poppa.
And as he's doing that, maybe I'll remember to ask Chris because he can't hear me right now because he's got his headset off. I got to thinking about in the last trilogy, what if they actually added an H2, from 1981, where we had the Michael and Laura as brother and sister? What if they actually did that in the last trilogy?
Brother and sister?
Yeah, I just I got to thinking about this. I think I even asked Jake this. I'm like, what if we had another, and I didn't say this right now, but like another universe. What if the trilogy how would it have worked for us as fans, as visuals, if they actually appreciated Halloween 2 from 1981, the lore of Michael and Laurie being brother and sister? What if we got that instead in the last trilogy?
Oh, God.
In a sense, I feel like that would have been, even though I wasn't a big fan of that concept. Yes, I get it. John Carpenter, the 6-pack of Budweiser, blah, blah, blah. I got it. But let's just pretend, hypothetically, that they respected 1981's Halloween 2, since that was John Carpenter's writing, blah, blah, blah. What if they did write that into this past trilogy? I kind of think now, and we're all fans, we all have our own perspective of it, our own point of view. And because I wasn't a big fan of this last trilogy, now I'm starting to think, well, that would really rewrite the whole trilogy if they decided to do that.
It would. God. The only thing that makes me like cringe at the whole thing is just involving Jamie Lee again.
Yeah.
It's like we can't escape Jamie Lee. If I could put that spin on it, like it's kind of become Jamie Lee's franchise instead of Michael's franchise, and it's like she's just constantly haunting him instead of
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
then
I
if we would.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, because 81 and 78. I mean, they're neck and neck. Like for me, I'm just speaking out of my thoughts, but they go together so well for me that I placed them at the same podium. Like, I love both movies. I think it's a cap off. I think it works so well. I loved Warlock and I love Castle. Like, I think it's just such a well done those two movies, that should be the end for me. Maybe a little.
But then you wouldn't have H6.
I know.
God, it's like a washer and dryer thing. Another cycle. Damn it, Halloween franchise, and
I get it. What I am happy about with what you brought up there, that we haven't heard anything. I think in order for us to get excited about anything again, I think it has to die for a little bit.
Yeah, I thought about that too.
It's got to be like, 5 years or so before we hear any news.
Yeah, and they're focusing. I mean, granted, that's not how well, in a sense, it does. But right now, it seems like they're focusing. Or we, the fans, are starting to hear a lot about the Scream franchise. But it's the whole TV thing too. But anyways, I know you walked back there. I was, filling in some space while you were doing that. Let's get to the good stuff. why people are so obsessed with Halloween. Let's face it, it's the damn masks.
Well, speaking of brother and sister,
Oh boy.
I did pick up this one a little bit ago.
That looks so cool.
There. This is the SSN version 2, I think.
That hair is just uniquely amazing on its own.
What Chris did, this is another Morgan, by the way.
Yeah.
Obviously. But yeah, I think he bought the SSN version 2 mold, and he's been using that. This is, of course, all of his finish and everything, but he's my dude. This is the screen used, I think. Not the actual screen used, but the mold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No.
I think
let's
currently he's trying to work out a deal with oh God, who was it? Brad Laurie?
Yeah.
Was that correct?
I think. If not, people that are watching, help us out in the comment section. If we're right or wrong, you know what to do in the comment section.
Yeah, I'm probably butchering this. Chris. I'm fucking drunk, man.
It wasn't me.
Don't blame me. We're just hanging out in the man cave. Don't crucify me, man. I think that's correct, though. He's working out a deal with him to where he wants to get a signature series, like with the H6.
Yes. Okay.
So he wants to start doing that. I'm not sure if that is going to go anywhere or what else, but the man don't miss with anything. He actually is doing I'll plug that real fast. He's doing an auction with Brett Richard Gill on Facebook.
Yeah.
They have a site that they kind of run an auction off of, but I think Chris had like 12 or 13 masks in that auction. And it was kind of cool. There was the scalper aspect, like coming in and like at the last minute with the bid and all that stuff. It was kind of cool to sit there and watch. But I ended up winning this one. This is the auction mask.
Okay.
And man, if y'all can look that up and get in that group, it's a lot of fun. You'll have a lot of fun in the auction. Let me get the name of that group.
So you really now need a decent H4 and back there with a WMP collection.
100%.
Just saying. Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, if we do have any returning, well, I don't want to sound negative about it. Like say Joe Powers, for example. I've got. It's been cold. Call it excuses, but I haven't touched any mask. I'm like, there's no way. I'm not going to paint any mask in this cold weather. There we go.
The Myers community on Facebook. If you guys aren't in there, go get in there, guys. Good times.
And I do apologize for the sniffling. I don't want to. If I'm editing, listening, I'm like, oh my God, stop it! You're driving me nuts. So I apologize for that. I don't keep up with the. It's not that I don't want to. I'm just not. I'm not in social media that much at all. Other than what you just described there with the community with Facebook, is there anybody else out there that you've kind of noticed that's been catching a lot of attention, or is it pretty much staying the? Maybe one of these days we'll focus on a podcast on artists out there that we're noticing, and I'll make sure that I do my research again. But any artists out there that are really getting people's attention on the work that they're doing.
I still really want to have Big Bear Rehauls. I still want to have him on. I still want to have Chris Vinekamp on. He's kind of a rising star, I think.
Yeah.
He's got a connection with JC, to which has kind of put his foot in the door. I think he's doing great stuff. No, I don't think there's been any
It is February too, so and it's been cold everywhere. I'm sure a lot of artists have been kind of. I would assume, but then again, I'm speaking for the Midwest. But um, I had a brain fart there, which is not surprising. Oh,
it's been kind of quiet.
Before I forget, and then of course, Chris, you could always help go back to the Halloween subject. If not, then folks, then we'll go into another gear here real quick because I want to make sure I was going to write some stuff down and remind myself to ask Chris some questions because I haven't had an opportunity to ask him in a while. Covered a lot of stuff that we pretty much cover here on this podcast. Horror, music, cars. I do understand that you, sir, have a new vehicle pretty much sitting right outside your man cave right now.
I've always wanted a Honda Ridgeline. I don't know why. I'm a huge Honda guy, but it's not your typical pickup truck. It's got all sorts of like hidden features and weird quirky stuff that I like about it.
Yeah.
And it's something that Natalie can just get in and drive, and or my mom, if she needs to go to the store or whatever, I feel like she could hop in that and just take off. It's almost like driving an SUV, but it's a pickup at the same time.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect of it. Maybe that's me just, crossing over 40 into 41, just, trying to make the responsible decision. Maybe that's it. Because I've had all sorts of trucks. I've had, a Ford Lightning. I've had a Dodge Ram 1500. I've had this, that, and the other. I like trucks, but I'm always primarily a car guy.
Yeah.
But this decision was very focused. I wanted it to meet certain checklists, and I felt like that met all the checklists. I didn't want to be spending, crazy amounts. It's a 3.5 liter engine. It's not awful on gas. I didn't want a gas hog, you know what I'm saying? A V8 something.
Yeah.
4-wheel drive. It is 4-wheel drive, but it's a 3.5 liter. It's good on gas. It's just one of those decisions where I just felt like it was the safe play. And honestly, I love it. It's a great truck.
I could honestly say, since I've known you and how you've been pretty much educating me, there is going to be a point, and it might be this late summer, early fall, where I may have to get a certain, vehicle myself. I always say it quietly because I'm afraid it could still hear me out in the garage right now.
It's a good, it's a good little truck.
I have had a car payment a long time, so it's like, I think any adult gets it, especially Chris right now. But I find myself leaning towards wanting to look towards a Honda, when it's that time. It's being around Chris, listening to him, his passion about it, and looking into it myself, doing some research. I'm like, why the hell would not want to look into a Honda? And our good friend Andrew, who was also a big fan of it from what he's described about his Honda experience as well. And here's another thing too. If you're just driving around, like with my line of work, if you're going by used car lots, very seldom do you see a Honda sitting out there. Why is that? Chris, could you answer that? I think I know, but what do you think? When you drive by all these places, you get what I'm going at.
So gas engines aren't as reliable as a diesel engine, obviously, but gas Honda engines, I don't think I'm going to have to worry about that engine until it's in like 350,000 miles. That's significant. Like, there's a reason, oh God, I believe his name is Suchio Honda. Mr. Honda is what I call him. But Mr. Honda, he started off in F1 cars. That's where he got his start. Like, his very first car was like the 271 RA, like the F1 car. That was his very first car. He built F1 engines. The man knows fucking engines. That's where VTEC came from. They may be more conservative on the gas and not as big as displacement, but man, do those fuckers run forever. They are good engines. I don't care what anybody says.
It's as someone who's not as educated or someone who's not as knowledgeable as you are, you could just, as an adult or responsible individual, when it comes time, or if you're looking to buy a car for yourself, your wife, or your kids, or whatever, when you think about just the Honda industry alone, and you look at the history and up to the present, like I said, you don't see Hondas on the used car lot, and you see, like, say, if you do see a used one, it's someone who's owned, like, say, a Honda CRV or CRX. Am I saying that right? But they're driving them forever.
Dustin, he just bought a CRX. That thing's a little scooter, man. It's great.
Yeah, I just have to make the decision on. Well, I'll be talking to Chris more about that. I even told my own parents. Yeah, with them being it's so funny. My dad, Brian, who's a retired Ford mechanic. See, in my heart, there's a part of me, it's like, I wish I could get a Ford, but Ford are not like they used to be. So I'm not going there because I want to be honest. They're like recall kings right now. I'm not going there. And my mom, they love Fords, but yeah, they're driving Jeeps right now. But I even told my mom, I said, when it comes down to it, I'm going to be looking for a Honda most likely in the either late summer. Because I'm pushing it off as far as I can. I just have to make a decision on, what is it? Because the reality of it is I'm not getting a Mustang as much as though I look at a Mustang, it's like, drool coming out of my mouth. But, yeah, it's a Honda, and I just have to decide.
You know what, though?
What works best for me.
The older I get, the more I look at it. I mean, I think it really comes down to, like, not necessarily a brand thing, but I think it comes down to maintenance. How well these people take care of these vehicles.
Sorry, I can hear that in the background. Go ahead, Chris.
You're right. Like maintenance. How well people take no, I can't say it. How well people take care of these vehicles. Like, if you can get a Ford, if you take care of it well, I think it'll treat you well. Like, I think that's okay. I think Fords get a bad rap because it's, just easy to do. It's kind of like, I don't know, poking the bear. Like, they've been around forever. I mean, look at the Ford Motor Company fucking history. I mean, it's massive.
My Ford Explorer has 253,000 miles on it.
I mean, that's decent, man. And she's still treating you good. I'm not going to sit here and bash a brand.
19 years old.
I'm just not. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Like, if you take care of a vehicle, I think you'll be fine. It's just what meets your criteria.
Yeah.
What do you want it to do for you?
I just, in all honesty, I'm hoping to keep the Explorer. But the reality of it is, it's going to be time to look for another. So I'll have to make a decision on what, because I already know what I want. That's the important thing, I know Mustang, no. Just put that aside. No. The guitars would be the toys for me. Honda's what I'm looking at right now. I just got to figure out what it is. Mm-hmm. I can't do what you and Dustin and Jameson's doing. No offense, guys. I love what you guys do. I'll admire your guys' cars. I got to do a sensible, you know what I mean? Something that could put Dozer and Zach and I in there. And
Yep. That's where I was with the. I would love to go. That's where I was with the Ridgeline. Like, I would love to go out there and be like, yeah, fuck yeah, I want an SRT 10 fucking Dodge Ram with the fucking Viper motor. Give me that shit right now.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I can't justify that as a fucking 40-year-old. Oh God, that feels weird to say. 41-year-old man.
I was about to say, I know somebody's birthday is coming around the corner, so if you want to still say you're 40, I get it.
I have less than a month left. I'll be 42. Fuck.
This is where I'm going to. I don't want to ruin it for you. Because there's always, you can always say, I'm going to be a certain age, and there's that other person that's in the room that is older. And they're going to be like, yeah, I wish I had that. No. I was going through that too. That, 40, 41, 42. I'm not going to ruin that for you. I mean, shit, you're probably older than me right now with all that damn scotch and bourbon you bought behind you.
I fucking probably am. My liver is probably fucking 83.
Stick to the Irish whiskey where it's only about $30-something.
Oh shit.
I haven't had this in a long time.
No, wait, we're gonna pop something else. Hang on. I'm gonna get another expensive one.
Uh-oh. This is where I'll put in an ad.
Make sure it's the guy falling down.
Are you getting sick and tired of always losing at hide and go seek? Well, go open a can of Meet Us in the Man Cave beer. It friggin' tastes awesome.
Drink responsibly. Only available at Bourbon.